Resubmission would be a useful remedy only for a few cases, such as a failure in image recognition checks. That makes sense, that allowing them to resubmit their images for the algorithm to take another try, and then many of them are probably good pass until there are major changes to the system. In these checks, like for example, the image recognition, the resubmission wouldn't help that much. If someone who is actually stuck because of their name appeal, then it should be waiting for the name appeal feature to come out to resolve their name to match. Don't simply match that case. So given the another resubmission will only lead them to have more trouble resubmitting one more time to them, wouldn't let them just go past because of resubmission. However, we need to strike a balance in granting even for the checks that resubmission would help. We need to strike a balance in granting resubmissions because we don't want to let the fake accounts to get many opportunities to retry either. Yes, there is already a feature actually halfway shown, but that there are some skirt the scalability issue and not fully fledged for people to use. I don't remember where it is. Admin meeting, the mainnet checklist, or the last step is like inviting your teams to KYC. So this is the mechanism and feature we thought of to mobilizing the inactive or other members who haven't KYC to KYC. In a sense, it's decentralized motivation mechanism. Each person is motivating their own security circle or referral team to pass KYC because they have their own motivation, as well because the bonuses attributed to those members depends on the verification of identity of their team members. So the feature that we're thinking of is notification through the similar to the PIN. However, we're also open to sending email notifications, which will take time to set up the infrastructure to send millions of emails, but still more visible than sending text messages. The majority of the efforts right now in the KYC team have been to unblocking pioneers for their ability to submit KYC and getting stuck in the KYC review process. For various reasons just mentioned above. What that like for the user and endpoint, it just the same as pending, or it's a stock. But for the engineering side of things, it's actually different sets of work. It's not just one set of work and unblock all people. It's a different miscellaneous set of work to unblock different people for different reasons. And that's why it takes time, and that's why you continuously hearing people who is stuck is because there are always remaining people who is stuck due to the probability of algorithms or due to human errors, and we're trying our best to unblock them and improve them as much as possible. The validator rewards are accumulated by deducting 1 pi from each successful KYC, especially at the migration and into a pool. This pool will only increase and will not decrease because it will only be used to reward validators all the work, such as checks. Validator D are accounted for in the database. So we have all the data that is needed in order to distribute the reward. So the rewards from the pool will be distributed after the calculation of the validation checks, because there are some validations should be false and that shouldn't be compensated for. It will be after the KYC process is more stable state, where all pioneers can't apply to KYC, fewer people are stuck in the pipeline. This also helps to reward all valid validators more fairly, because the initial periods of KYC movement, we call it, if it's a network movement of KYC, the initial periods, like right now or any time before right now, it should be considered the initial period. This may involve more negative results, meaning that like these ones are marked as internally as rejected or actually rejected, whereas later stage presumably more cases passing, so the pool only come from the successful KYC. As a reminder, Because only the people who are KYC actually can claim the PI and therefore actually have the ability to pay the 1 pi, but will reward all the work by validators even if the results of the cases are negative. Meaning that work if a validator accurately validated a case and determined this case shouldn't pass. This validator's work still needs to be rewarded because it's a work how to result in accurate, negative result. So accounting for larger dataset of the validation work, how overall more fair reward that distribution, give a very simple example. So, early on, let's suppose all these are supposed to a hypothetical number, suppose the 3 out of 10 KYC applications pass KYC and these work are done by 10 validators, which is, assumption is hypothetical because actually each case has many validators involved. Let's suppose, for simplicity, therefore, this will yield 3 pi should be distributed among 10 people and each validator will only get 0.3 pi. But later as the system improve later, 9 out of 10 people pass KYC and also done by 10 validators 9 pi will be distributed among 10 people. This leads to the later periods 0.9 pi, but if we put both vouchers together and distribute the pi rewards together, it means that the, 3 plus 9 is 12 pi in total and distributed to, 20 validators in total. That each validator should earn 0.6 pi instead of for the initial validators. That basically suffer from a lot of negative results is 0.3 and then later has much higher. This is a simple hypothetical example. Why pulling together more to have to reach a little bit more stable KYC start periods helps even or more fair distribution, okay? Currently there is over 700,000 validators who have validated at least a certain amount of applications, meaning that it's not just one or two, it's like a few of the few. Yes, at the moment, every KYC application involves multiple human validations. But human validations do not constitute the whole validation process of a KYC. And all the cases also involve multiple machine automation checks. So we will see how this can evolve in the future. Maybe we will be at the point where many validations can be fully completed by AI and when the AI is not certain. That's when it goes to human validators. And by the way, this is going to be a benefit for human validators as well because they will only be called to do meaningful work. Therefore, more meaningful work, therefore, critical meaning that not the easy cases, but the more difficult cases that the computer cannot determine. And as a result, the amount of pi that will be distributed could also be higher, because fewer and fewer people are needed per person who needs to KYC. So this Design of a component machine and also AI and human is by it's to make something 100% meaning that you can reach finality because AI until today, even though it's a great applications in areas very widely, very useful, but it cannot achieve that 100%. However, the KYC determination needs to be 100%. That's why we have the design of 2 components. And at the same time, as many of you know, AI has the nature of evolvement like evolution of itself of getting smarter as it goes, and that's what Nicholas Coleman down later in my NAN needs certain processes or reduce certain type of work for validator while giving validator more critical work to we're doing 2 things basically as we go. One is we're using these algorithms to make decisions in the application so as they go. But we are also learning the algorithm is training and learning based on validator responses, and it's improving itself. Some migration statistics. So currently there is a little bit over 1 billion pi that is moved to main. It is 1.046 something like that. And about 8% of that is locked for 6 months, or more like 800 into a million, and somewhere we have migrated about 1.3 million to mainnet. That means that this 1 billion pi belongs to those 1.3 million people and there is currently about 2.6 million, about double that who have passed KYC. So this means if we divide the numbers up, It means that currently the average main net balance of pioneers is about 800 DPI 808. These are the current statistics about the migration. Can we add the feature automatically switch the keyboard to English when entering a passphrase? This will limit this situation that the binary is still leaves the keyboard in the native language and confuses one number or character when entering the passphrase. I think this is really a good idea. We can look into whether it is technically feasible if the phones allow you have the phone browsers allow you to do this to modify the keyboard settings. If we can, it's a really good idea. Thank you for proposing.